Welcome to the Existential Empath Podcast. My name is Tanya, and I am an intuitive empath. My intention is to share valuable tips, tools, and techniques that I have learned so you can tap into your own inner healer naturally and intuitively. Welcome back, everyone. Today I have guest Carine Camara. She is a licensed acupuncturist and founder of Carine, a lifestyle brand whose mission is to help women celebrate aging through beauty, style, and wellness. For more than 12 years, Carine has treated health issues ranging from digestive disorders, migraines, immune and emotional distress, and even pregnancy. As a lifestyle expert, Carine applies energetic and spiritual principles to practice science, providing a truly holistic experience for her clients. Welcome, Carine. It's a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
So we're going to talk about ancient medicine for modern healing. We're going to talk about the benefits of acupuncture. And so I have to admit, I have done my fair share of holistic treatments, from visceral manipulation to cupping to cryotherapy, but I have never been to an acupuncturist before. And I am an EFT tapping practitioner, which is considered needleless acupuncture. And so I am educated somewhat on the acupressure points, but I'm really excited to learn more today about this healing modality. So, Carine, let's dive right in. What is acupuncture?
Well, acupuncture is an ancient medicine that comes from China. So it's part of a system of Chinese medicine, and acupuncture is one branch. So there's herbs, there's Tui Na, which is a massage, there's Qigong, which is movement, and then there's nutrition. So all of those branches equals Chinese medicine, which is a philosophy around balance and finding homeostasis in the body. And a lot of it is based on nature and going with the flows of nature and how we are a reflection of our outside world. And so the principles of acupuncture is really about creating harmony in the body and helping your body remove obstructions. And the way that obstructions look like in the body is pain. For most people, they're coming to an acupuncturist because they have physical pain, emotional pain, distress, all of these things, and acupuncture helps to resolve. And so the way that it works is that the needles or the acupressure points are located on particular fascia lines within the body. And the needles are going into specific points that have more electricity than other parts of the body, since we are all electrical beings. And we use metals because they're the conductor of heat and electricity. So by inserting metal needles in the body starts to activate its own electricity charge, which the fascia has a lot of electricity in it. And that's why you can treat one part of the body with the other, because you're going along these fascia planes. And fascia is connective tissue that goes around all the tissues in the body, all the muscles, all the nerve endings, like every single part of our body. And the inside is covered with fascia, and they all connect and talk to each other through electrical currents. And so one of the things about acupuncture, it helps your body harmonize, but it also boosts up your immune system, because you're putting something foreign in the body, right? So the body's like, okay, what is this foreign thing? And all the blood comes to that point, which then carries a lot of oxygen, it carries a lot of nutrients, and that's how your body starts to heal. So it's a really amazing self-healing mechanism where we're putting points where the acupuncturist that's skilled can feel, okay, these meridians, these channels are in need of extra support. You put the needles there and the body kind of does the rest. And there's multiple meridians in the body. There's 14 main ones, and each one is associated with a different organ, a different emotion, a different pathway. So a lot of the times it's very scientific in the way, if you have a headache, there's certain types of headaches that link to certain types of meridians, and it can be said for all disorders of the body. So really it's kind of playing almost like chess, where we're putting certain needles to affect a certain change in the body.
Oh, that's really interesting. So I always call the fascia the fiber optic network of the body, because it really is. It's this mechanism that speaks to us, right? And it's connected to pretty much everything within the body. Right. And it's really neat So when you're doing acupuncture, do you tune into your intuition similar to visceral manipulation? I don't know if you're familiar with visceral manipulation or not, but they usually tune into their intuition, and then they will use science to figure out, what areas of the body need healing. So, when you're tuning in with acupuncture, how do you know where to put the needles? How are you guided as a practitioner?
Well, I don't know if all acupuncturists tune into their energy. I think it's per acupuncturist that, because some people use acupuncture more like Western medicine, very scientific. Other people are more energetic about it. I am more energetic about it. So how I tune in is really just feeling the person's energetic body and being an intuitive. I just pretty much I use a lot of prayer, and I use a lot of just listening and listening to the person's body and then being guided. So there are traditional points where if you have this is wrong, these are traditional points you can use. I usually put those in if they're, if it works for this person. And then there's always a point or two where I just ask the body, and I just ask, and I'm like, okay, this point. And sometimes it's very random. The point sometimes it has nothing to do with what I would have chosen. In my mind, I would have been like, that's not a point I would have thought of. But sometimes it's the most random point, and then I put it in, and the client has a really big reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll be like, like I really felt that one or something, and it's like, oh, okay, so this is what the body really needs. Because honestly, acupuncture, like I said earlier, is really a self-healing mechanism. Like I am helping your body heal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really listening to what your body is asking for. And oftentimes when I work with people that work with energy or that are in that mindset, or practitioners, they themselves will be like, hey, I'm feeling this here. Can you put a needle there? You know what I mean? So then we kind of work together to see what best is for the client or the practitioner if I'm working with somebody that's a peer.
Yeah. And so how many acupressure points are there?
There's a lot. There's 319 that are like traditional points. So there's all the meridians, and then there's 2 extra meridian channels. And so all of those points, but then there's different, there's like Dr. Tong, there's Korean acupuncture that has different points. So there's other systems that have other acupressure points. So it kind of just depends, but the standard is the 319.
Interesting. Because
Yeah.
I know with the tapping, we use the basics, mostly around
Yeah.
the face and then above the collarbone and the chest, but you can use the hands, and, there's a
Yeah.
variety of them. So it's really interesting to learn, how many there are. And so does it hurt? What are people's reactions when you are putting the needles in them and you hit one of those sweet spots?
Well, in general, acupuncture, I mean, you are inserting a needle. So there is a certain level, there is a pricking sensation. For the most part, I wouldn't say that it's painful, but if you're very sensitive, like I use the thinnest needles in the market, and I do more of a Japanese style, so that's less painful. But for the most part, the good sensations are a dull, achy sensation, movement, like you feeling almost like electricity, but not nervy, because if it's nervy, that's not a good thing. But you feel this like shoot of energy. That's a good thing. Sometimes you feel sensations where there is no needles, which is where I'm like, oh my God, it's so magical almost, right? Like I'm putting needles in your arm and you're feeling it in your shoulder, right? Because that means the whole meridian is opening up. And I remember when I was in acupuncture school and I was learning all of this, you're kind of skeptical. You're like, okay, I'm learning about this, sure. And I got a point on my thumb that's along the lung channel, and I literally felt it, the whole channel lit up. Like I felt it in my chest, like the whole entire channel that I was learning. And I was like, oh my God, this is so wild. And that's when I was like, okay, I was already a believer, but now it's like really cool to be able to feel things along the channel. And I feel like that was done on purpose for me to like be like, okay, this is what's happening.
This works. Yeah.
Right. And so people have those, if you're really sensitive to energy, people can really feel that stuff. And I think even as a practitioner, I think it's important for practitioners to have their energy be clear as well, because it's an energy medicine. So there is a certain level of transference between practitioner and client.
Absolutely. And that's so important. And I think, me being an energy practitioner as well, it's like I'm constantly making sure my vessel is clear, because I want to make sure that, things are flowing through me with ease. And, I had that experience with, like I said, I haven't done acupuncture before, but I went to a reflexologist and they did a foot massage on me.
Mm-hmm.
And whoa, it's amazing. I love that. I want to talk about the meridians and the channels, because You've mentioned the word meridian a few times, and for us working in the energy field, that's a very common right term for us, but for those listening, this may be a new term for them. So let's talk a little bit about what is a meridian and how are those acupressure points, aligned in our energetic field.
Yeah. Well, a meridian org channel, they kind of are synonymous, are points in the body which are like, I like to think about them like rivers. So there's rivers going along the body, and it usually starts from the organ. So if we're talking about the lungs, like I just mentioned, the meridian starts in the lung, and then it goes along the chest, down the arm to the thumb, where it ends. And so that's a flow of energy coming from the organ system throughout the body. And every system is connected to the next. So the lung is connected to the large intestine, which is the meridian after. And then each meridian is connected to each other, and they're their own systems. How it works is really energy going from one place to the other along these fascia pathways. And where you find pain is where, like, for instance, a very common source of pain is the shoulders, right? Everyone has tight shoulders when they're stressed, and that's along the gallbladder meridian, small intestine, large intestine. These are meridians that go through the shoulders, right? So then you could start to see, oh, okay, like these meridians, like the gallbladder, which is probably one of the most common areas that people find pain, because this meridian has a lot to do with frustration, stress,
Bitterness.
anxiety, bitterness, like lack of courage, all of these things. And it starts on the outside of the eye, goes along the sides of the body. So oftentimes when people are stressed, this is where they feel pain in their shoulder. And so what I love about the meridians, it kind of gives you a pathway of the body, or a directory, so to speak, where if people start telling you things that's going on in their body, you can start. It's a great starting point where you're like, okay, these are the meridians that are affecting this body. Let me check these meridians to see how they're faring. Are there tightness? Is there pain along these certain points? And along those meridians, and you can then put acupressure points to then open it up. And you can also use energy work. You can use massage. There's so many different techniques to open up that energy, to get energy flowing from one place to the other, to alleviate the pain or the stress or whatever's blocking that channel for movement. So it's really just a flow of energy. And I like to use the analogy of rivers, because if rivers are not flowing, if there's rocks and pathways in the river, it's going to create a dam, right? And that dam, then water is not flowing. And then we all know what happens with stagnant water: disease, mosquitoes, it becomes a dank. That's not a good thing. You want clear flowing water. And so acupuncture is a way to clear those blockages, to create a free flow of energy throughout the body. With that being said, you have more harmonious ways of being in your body that's more beneficial to your health long term.
Absolutely. I use that analogy too. I use it rivers in a beaver dam. It's like when you have a beaver
Yeah.
dam there, the water is trying to force its way around. It's going to
Right.
squeak its way through there. But, once that clears out, it's just this beautiful, free flowing energy that's flowing
Right.
through your body. And so just visualizing that. And so is there a acupressure point that you can share that would help people with, say, anxiety or stress, that's really easy for the viewers? I've got listeners too, because it's a podcast, so we might have to talk through it, but that you could show us that could be helpful.
I think the main one is actually something that you use as a tapper, is yin tang, which is the point in the middle of the forehead. So this is a point that helps to calm the mind, calm the nervous system. So I think that point's really nice. Tapping it or putting essential oils, like I like to put lavender, chamomile, like nice warm, like nice cooling essential oils in between the brows and the forehead is a nice one. Another one that's also a heart place is in between the chest. We call that Ren 17. It's a point like literally in between your chest. It's like about 4 inches down. And
Like
that's a
the
great
thymus
point.
gland, the thymus, that area? Or
It's a little tiny bit lower than the thymus gland, but it's similar. And it's for the same reason, right? Opening up the chest, opening up your heart. I like that point because it really inspires you to take a deep breath. Because if you're holding your chest, all of a sudden you start to realize, okay, my chest isn't opening. I'm not really breathing. And I feel like that's really important, like creating that breath into your lungs, opening up your chest, calming your nervous system down, relaxing the vagus nerve by moving the diaphragm. I feel like those are good ways to get into your body and kind of realize, okay, what's happening with me? Take a breath, relax. So those are the 2 points that I often find to be beneficial for myself, and they're easy enough that I usually tell clients to tap on them or to hold them with some essential oils, or even just putting your hand on your chest and breathing into that point is helpful as well.
Yeah, because it's funny how naturally we'll do that, right? If we're stressed, we go like this, we kind of put our hand
Right.
here. So it's like we know subconsciously that that's a good, or if we're like, oh,
Right.
I need to focus here in this area. So it's funny how our body knows what to do and where to go. And so just
Yeah.
learning that those subconscious programs and understanding them on a conscious level, you're like, wow, I can actually do
Yeah.
that. And I thought, when I was learning energy medicine, I learned, Donna Eden. She's a famous
Oh, I love her.
energy practitioner. I
Hmm.
love her. And that's where I learned a lot about the meridians, the kidney meridian and whatnot, and how to trace them and, learning about the different points. And so, for those of you out there who are watching or listening, go down that rabbit hole. It's a really fun rabbit hole to go down because there's so much more to learn when it comes to our energetic system. And we've only touched on a little bit today, but Carine, you help people with rejuvenating their face, okay, through
I
acupuncture.
do.
And this is really exciting. So, which is an ancient tradition to reduce fine lines and wrinkles, right? So, for
Right.
like basically a natural facelift. Can you talk a little bit more about the benefits of acupuncture when it comes to bringing more vibrancy into our face?
Yeah. Well, the reason why I love it is, I mean, for the anti-aging stuff, that's one thing, but for really the most important thing about facial rejuvenation is releasing the emotional stress that we are holding in our face. Because the face is a place where we hold a lot of tension, we hold a lot of emotion. And so I feel like softening those lines and relaxing the jaw, relaxing the face, creating more of a softness in your face gives you that radiant glow. And of course, bringing more blood to the face, bringing more oxygen to the face, putting serums and doing all these things that help, nourish the cells of your skin also gives you that glow. But most importantly, it's releasing whatever we're holding. And we're all holding something in our jaw, in our forehead, in between our brows, in our eyes. It's all this pain that we've carried year after year after year, the stresses, the losses, the grief, the betrayals, all of these things live on our face. And that becomes more apparent as we get older, right? When you look at older people, you can almost see their life on their face,
Yeah, there are frown
right?
lines and yeah.
Right, right. And so I feel like working with me or someone that does work that I do similar is about really getting in touch with who you are, getting that joy back into your face, that lightness, the heart, the love, all of those things come through your face. And usually when we see somebody, no matter how many wrinkles on their face, if they have that lightness of being, we are all like, oh my God, she's radiantly beautiful, even if she has wrinkles everywhere. As opposed to someone that has a tight face and isn't really addressing all those things, you can still see the anger and the negative emotion that screams out of their face. So for me, I like acupuncture because I feel like it's a great way to do two things at once. We're releasing the emotional stuff, and we're also nourishing the skin and helping the body rebuild cells in a way that's beneficial for graceful aging, as opposed to doing something that's just purely cosmetic, where you're not tapping into the emotional, energetic parts of it.
Absolutely. I've been doing the gua sha for many years. It's
Yeah,
that
that's great.
beautiful. And
Hmm.
I've had emotional releases with that before. I didn't
Right.
realize that, just especially up under my eyes and up here and then up,
Yep.
I'll go up, through this area and
Hmm.
I'll find myself
Yeah.
tearing up and just feeling the emotional release of that. And so Carine, I've recently learned that there's certain acupressure points to create more collagen. Is this true? Or have you heard of this before? Like these areas? I thought I'd ask you if you are even aware of that. Is that even a thing?
I mean, I wouldn't say there's a specific point that produces collagen. That's not necessarily, I haven't learned that. Maybe that's something new that I haven't been taught that. All of the skins on your face produce collagen. It's not
Uh-huh.
one single area. Really, it's about stimulating blood and circulation to the face and the cells will produce collagen, giving the right ingredients. It's like anything else in our body. We give it the right nutrients, the right method of use, the body will produce. So we lose collagen as we get older. And of course, you can put topical collagen or drink collagen. That's one thing. But really, your body can create collagen given the proper nutrients. So that's really what those things are. And also cleaning out your lymphatic system. The reason why gua sha is really nice, you're moving the lymph nodes, you're moving the lymph fluid that's in your face and helping it process through your body faster so it's not sitting on your face. So like having a very swollen face or swollen, that's usually your lymphatic system is not draining. So gua sha and acupuncture is great for moving that along.
Absolutely. And I noticed too, just doing the gua sha and the tapping and acupuncture too, my eyesight started to get better. And I think it's because I was
Yes,
getting a lot of lymphatic clogging around my eyes where my eyelids would start to droop a little bit more, and just using
exactly.
that movement to move up through there and releasing some of the tension, from here to here. And these are just simple techniques that we can use. And because I know it's not everybody can get to an acupuncturist all the time to have things done, but I want
Right,
to
right.
talk about how to choose a reliable acupuncturist. Can you give some advice for people, for like someone like me, who I'm really into holistic modalities and holistic treatments, but I guess maybe the reason why I haven't been to one is because I don't know how to choose one. I don't know how to
Yeah,
find one that's
yeah.
reliable.
Where do you live?
I'm in the Pacific Northwest, so Eastern Washington, Northern Idaho area.
Okay. Okay. Well, I would say the number one thing about finding an acupuncturist, I think in more urban environments, there's definitely more, right? So I live in the Bay Area, San Francisco, there's tons. Um, and I would say the biggest thing with finding an acupuncturist is understanding that there's different styles, right? So there's Chinese style, which is the most popular because that's what we are mostly taught. There's Japanese, which is what I mentioned is what I do. There's Korean, there's Five Elements, there's Master Tong. Those are like the five main ones. And so I think you have to realize what you're going in for, right? If you're going in for pain, Master Tong would be great, and so would Chinese acupuncturists. If you're looking for more spiritual stuff, maybe you want to try Five Elements. That's way more spiritual. And there's also esoteric acupuncture, also more spiritual. If you're someone that's very sensitive and you don't like pain, I would definitely say find a Japanese acupuncturist because they're the least painful
Mhm.
out the bunch. So those are like technical ones that are a little bit different, right? And there's also the balance technique. So there's lots of different styles. So you want to just understand the balance technique is good for pain, similar to Master Tong. They came out of the same branch. So those are one thing. So, and also it's an energetic practice. You got to remember that's energetic. So if you find an acupuncturist and that you weren't vibing, don't give up. Find another one because that just might not have been your vibe.
Or choose a
And
different
sometimes,
style, maybe.
or choose a different style. Yeah. And sometimes the acupuncturists have a more of a no pain, no gain kind of philosophy. So it's way more intense. And also there's community style acupuncture. So that's acupuncturists all in the same room. They're giving acupuncture to different people in the same room. So there's more boutique style, which is what I have, where you're in a private room. I do a more spa experience. Not everyone does that. Some people are just a little bit more straightforward. So it really just depends on your vibe and like what you're looking for. Like I think it's all about personality. So finding someone that you vibe with, that you like, and they're doing stuff that you're interested in. And just keep looking. If you really want this type of healing, I just wouldn't stop at one because I know so many clients that are like, oh, I tried acupuncture a few years ago and I didn't like it. So I didn't like the practitioner or whatever, and I didn't go back, but yet they have great benefits from acupuncture. So, and if you don't like needles, which I totally understand, you want to find someone that's more gentle, like I would say find the Japanese style because they're more gentle with the needles.
And so how often should you go? Like if you decide you want to, like me, I get massages, once a month probably. How often should
Mhm.
you go see an acupuncturist when you're moving through treatment?
Well, it really depends on what you're going for. If you're going for something acute, then you probably want to go at least once a week until the issue is resolved. If you have more chronic illness, like you have an autoimmune disorder or you have chronic pain or you're something that's more debilitating in your health and that you've had for a while, you would probably need to do acupuncture for quite a long time. Not a long time like years, but you would have to go consistently. Like I like to tell people to come consistently once a month for 3 months because the 3 months is a great time for your body to rejuvenate all its cells. It's kind of getting to a great baseline. And then from that point on, you come every other week for maybe another 3 to 6 months. And then after that, it's once a month, once every 6 weeks as a tune-up.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the tune-ups are important because you want to maintain your health. It's great preventative care. It keeps your immune system strong, so you're not constantly getting sick and it also is a great stress management. So for somebody that's like you, that's healthy, that doesn't really have any health issues, and you would want to come at least once a month as an upkeep or once every 6 weeks as an upkeep, just to keep your body strong, just keep your body healthy, that kind of thing.
So what are some things that people should do after their treatment? Similar to like, say, massage, you've got to drink some water and, just
Same.
relax. Is it very similar?
Yeah, you drink water, you relax. You don't want to drink alcohol the first 2 hours after session. I always like people to make sure they have a relaxing after. Like I really prefer if you are coming to me that you're like often going home. That's why I have more clients at night. To get a treatment, go home, relax, or if you're, you know what I mean? Because it's hard to come get acupuncture. You're all relaxed and you got to go to work and have a stressful day. It's almost like counterintuitive. If you have to do that, then, but I always think it's better. You get your treatment, you go home. This is a self-care day. You know what I mean? Your day off, like have it be in a time where you can really just have that relaxation, that you can keep that relaxation for as long as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds amazing. Doing it right before bed.
Right. You come get acupuncture, you go home, you have dinner, you go to bed. Yeah.
You get your natural facelift. You wake up in the morning and you're a new person.
Exactly.
That sounds amazing. Well, Carine, can you share some of the services that you provide with us?
Yeah. So I provide traditional acupuncture, which is basically for any kind of chronic pain, anxiety, emotional disorder that you want like some help around, and women's health. So I do a lot of pregnancy, postpartum, that kind of thing, C-section repair, all of those things. And then I have my facial acupuncture. So the facial acupuncture is helping your body have this natural facelift. And I also do microneedling, which kind of also goes with reducing fine lines and wrinkles using a micro pen. And then I also offer intuitive acupuncture sessions where I give you an energetic reading, I do the acupuncture points, and I give you a little bit of what I'm channeling and what I'm feeling is something that would be beneficial to you. And what else do I do? I'm also a personal stylist. So I also help women with their style and helping them kind of get in touch with who they are. And I'm really moving towards a transformational coaching with women, helping you get in touch with your heart, getting in touch with who you are, helping your health, getting you into a space where you feel good about yourself and having that creativity manifest in your clothing and your style and your overall environment. So that's really what I'm passionate about, is really helping people transform and really celebrate who they are, especially as we get older in our season, in our years, and really wanting to finally become our authentic self.
Oh, absolutely. And so, that intuitive session sounds really neat. So
yeah,
that's for people who are remote, right? So people who don't live in the Bay Area.
Yeah, I can do intuitive things remote. And also I do intuitive with acupuncture in person.
That's really cool. So where can people contact with you, or where can they connect with you? Do you have a website, or what's the best way?
My website is carina.com. So that's CARRINNA. And you can also Google my name and you'll find me that way. And yeah, I'm local to the Bay Area. So if people are in the Bay Area, they can come see me. If not, you can find me online too.
Great. Well, thank you so much. This has been very educational for me, and I know for my listeners and watchers as well. So I appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing all of your knowledge and wisdom about acupuncture, acupressure, and natural facelifts. That was very new to me. I did not realize that that was a thing. And I bet there's a lot of people out there, they're like, wow, that sounds like a really holistic, natural way to reduce fine lines and wrinkles, because that's what we're always looking for, right? Is nice,
absolutely,
clean ways to look radiant and vibrant. And so thank you so much for coming on the show today. I really appreciate your energy.
Thank you so much for having me.
You deserve to navigate your life in alignment with health, happiness, and abundance. To learn more about the services that I provide, including Beyond Quantum Healing Hypnosis, EFT tapping, and the emotion code, visit my website at www.theexistentialempath.com.